This is the YouTube edition of my book, A Course in Miracles Workbook Nuggets. Workbook Nuggets was written to be a commentary or study aid for the course's workbook for students. I'll begin by reading the book's full commentary on today's workbook lesson over a visual of the book's text. I'll then return with some impromptu thoughts and comments on today's lesson and my commentary. A link to the book on Amazon.com is provided below. Lesson number 6, January 6. I am upset because I see something that is not there. You see something that is not there, a construct based on your individual life experiences. Before you can see reality, you must acknowledge and understand what you are seeing now. In our ordinary consciousness, no two people see the same world. Today's lesson reinforces and expands the prior lessons. Once again, we are told that you are making your own reality. In each of the recitations of what is bothering you and why. In each such example, you are looking at what is happening around you, and you are telling yourself a story about what is happening and what it means, including what everyone else in the situation is thinking and trying to accomplish. And that is why, in your mind, you are bothered or upset. But the exercise has you say each time that you are wrong. You see something that is not there. It's not just a Course in Miracles or other similar spiritual practices that have identified this story-making mechanism of your mind. Modern neuroscience has come to the same conclusions. That is just the way the human brain works. We are constantly constructing stories to make sense of what is happening. It's just how we live in our world and make sense of it. And it works well enough for day-to-day life, although it often does lead to misunderstandings and confusion. We just chalk those up to living in the world and interacting with other people. And that's true enough. But the Course in Miracles is not about living in your usual material world. It's about seeing the reality behind and beyond. It's about the eternal hiding in plain sight. It's about seeing with the eyes of Christ, of living in the kingdom here and now. The purpose of these beginning lessons is to have you realize and acknowledge that you are constantly interpreting and thus creating the world you see. We can't move on to a new way of seeing, a way to see reality, if we don't acknowledge this habitual and unconscious way of seeing that you have been doing for your entire life. Your old way of seeing is what these early lessons are about. As the lesson has you say and repeat, the reason that you are upset or disturbed in each instance of your practice today is not the reason you think. That is just your story. The real reason is always the same. And it's the same for all of us in every situation that troubles or disturbs us. The Course will get to that reason later in the workbook, but in simple terms, it is because in your ordinary way of seeing, you're seeing the situation from the perspective of your individual ego or individual self rather than the one self. If you were to view the situation with the Christ consciousness, which is your true eternal self, the self which we all share as children of God, you would not be upset for the reason you have identified. In fact, you would not be upset at all. Perhaps you would gently smile, because you would be at peace and see only love. Or at worst, you would see a cry for help or a call for love from that so-called antagonist in the situation which had so troubled you. The path to this new way of seeing is the course's workbook for students. Keep with it. It's the practice that gets you there.